This is Kivo for you guys. Basically, it's a platform that allows you to create reports, data-driven reports. The process behind it is simple. You come here, you upload your data source. We take care of all the data cleaning. Basically, the moment you upload your file, we give you back suggestions on what you need to fix in your file. Let me show you how exactly. So I created a report for demo purposes. I have one already made, so you can understand the feeling of it. And I don't want to drag you guys too long. So the way that this works is that Kivo goes through your file. Basically, right now we support Excel type of files, whether that is XLSX or CSV files. And what happens is that you upload your file. We come back with suggestions to you. You can go ahead, you can implement those suggestions, you can do more editing here. Basically, we take care of the data cleaning, so you don't have to worry about that hassle. The moment you're done with the data cleaning, you can come back here where you can write your full report. Rather than having all the other tools in the market that are basically GPT wrappers, in the sense that they have this chat interface that you bind it to, basically, which means that okay, even if I can upload my CSV files or my Excel files, I still get the response back in a chat interface format. What happens then, though, is that I will have to take the text and the output back from the chat thread where I'm at and copy them to a docs file. Here, you can think of it as Notion with data editing capabilities. What this happens right now is that after I've uploaded the file, I have a set of tools that I can use that I can go ahead and make me a full report like the one you see right here, just from a simple prompt. To top it all off, I can still come back here, do edits on the text myself, so I'm not binded to the chat interface that most of us are familiar with right now. The idea behind Kivo came to us because we felt that the way that people work with data right now is outdated. One of my co-founders, Dimitris, he works with data all the time as a market analyst. And one of the issues that he has all the time is that he has to juggle between all different tools. What happens is that, let's say that you have to get a report done to show the board of the company. What happens is that you need to have the Excel file, you need to then analyze it. If you're lacking technical, you have to use Python. If you're not lacking technical, you have to use Excel. And most of these tools are outdated. What happens then, though, is that you have to communicate those insights. So you still have to juggle between Word in order to write down all the insights that you have, or use some sort of chat GPT interface, but that still, binds you to a chat thread. The issue with that is that the reason that we built Kivo. We believe that allowing you to have sort of like a sketchpad or a scratchpad type of interface where you can get charts that you want right on the spot. Charts that you can edit by using natural language, or even edit with code, is the real game changer these days. And the most important thing is having them in an interface where you can just hit export and export them as a CSV file, as an HTML file, or just give a shareable link to somebody else to handle them. Here we got the first graph that I said about the funding threads. And the most important thing is that we believe that it is important for people to understand how their data are generated. So we take away the black box LLM logic by giving them the explanation of how this chart was created. This is really important, especially for our corporate clients who use Wasp, who use Kivo, in order to make sure that the data they get and the graphs they get have some logic behind them. It's not an LLM doing everything. For technical users, we also give them the capability of editing the code, but most importantly, we also give tips as well in case you want to, change something in the data behind in order to make it look better. The most important thing of all is that I can share the chart by itself as a link, and I can copy it and embed it to my website or to any Word document that I have, and it's going to be imported as an image. And in case I want to change it with code because I'm feeling more technical, I can do it right here. Here, as you can see, it's the graph that I edited. I instructed to start from 2020 rather than 2018, and I got the changed graph back. I can also add the edit the style, the title, and everything you can think of when it comes to the graph. Most importantly, though, I can get a table back with data. I can get a research agent that researches the web and gives me back insights together with sources. And if I want to do a whole report done in a second, I can just use the full Kivo AI agent as I did to produce this report. And it's going to produce my report in a matter of seconds. So as you can see here, it gets sources from the web, it gets sources from everywhere. What I want to stress though is Kivo is more than an interface. It's the data tool of the future, and that's our goal. We have tremendous progress, especially the last few months. We managed to onboard multiple users, and we continue to do so, especially big corporate users that we're after. We believe that the way we work with data is outdated, and that needs to be changed. And we would also like to extend a thank you to all of the Wasp team, because the reason that Kivo is a reality is because we managed to base ourselves on such a helpful platform. And the way that we managed to build such a thing in what I call a relatively short amount of time, it must have been months though, is because of Wasp and how easy it is, even for people that start to build new applications to get grinding and manage to make things go from 0 to 1 real fast. So thank you to all the Wasp team for building it, and we love it. Keep it going. That's all on my end. Any questions?
Wow, nice. Yeah, I'm sure there are a lot. I have a lot of questions, but I'll let
Awesome stuff.
some other people go
Yeah,
first.
yeah. Sorry, just one question from me, Dimitrios, before you read the other one. So, if you had to pick one feature from Wasp, what would be your favorite Wasp feature?
Well, that's a good question. We really like the API feature because we started using it, and the ability to basically have an API, and also the ability to run a job has been really useful for us. Just plug and play like that. They have been, they have saved us lots and lots of time.
Nice. Awesome. Awesome. Cool. Yeah, Vinny, should we do two more questions from the audience?
Yeah, sure.
Oh.
Yeah, maybe I can jump. I saw an interesting one, I think, from Sergio. Sergio says, who do you think is your main target segment, ideal user? VCs or?
So what happens is that when it comes to communicating with our users, we found that there are so many different people because everybody works with data. And I would say that our target user right now is non-technical and semi-technical people that want to get a report done fast, and they don't want to juggle between thousands of
Is there,
tools.
Dimitri, can you give us just one example, maybe? I'm not in that area that much, so I'm curious what will be some.
Right now, we have consultants in, we have writers from the Financial Times, we have dentists,
Oh,
lawyers, and I don't know. Last time I checked, we also had a guy working on a bank. So yeah,
Yeah.
so many people.
How is it
cool.
different
Awesome.
from something like one of the deep research
Nice.
features, like OpenAI has deep research. I think Grok has similar. How is it different from these deep research?
That's a good question.
Yeah.
So most importantly, the number one difference is the fact that we don't get stuck in what I call the chat interface. Because we allow you to think of it as a scratch pad where you collaborate with the AI and you're not lost in the threads. The moment you get a response back from ChatGPT, a response that you like, you have to go back to a Word document and write it down. Or let's say that you want to edit something that ChatGPT gives you or OpenAI gives you. It's gonna be another prompt. You cannot edit a specific graph on the response that it gives you because it's a chat interface. So moving away from the chat interface is our biggest difference. The ability of us to handle large, meaning really, millions of lines of CSVs has been something that sets us apart definitely. And the ability to do that in a timely manner, much faster than deep research and all of the other competitors, who we don't think that they are, necessarily competitors of us, because the moment that deep research gets better, we can just plug it in.
Cool. Yeah, and I looked into your guys' marketing strategy. I'm not sure we have enough time to talk about that, but I'll just mention that it seems like you guys are doing a lot in Reddit comments as far as marketing.
Exactly.
So you're following up. They're following up on people asking for good data analysis, AI-powered data analysis, and they're following up and leaving comments. They're basically, they're promoting their own tool, saying, "Hey, I tried it out. It's working great," and or just plugging it that way. So I think that's a very overlooked strategy for marketing that takes time, slow, but works pretty well.
100%.
Yeah.
I see one question from Gareth here that I would like to respond to.
Cool.
So the question is, how can we upload files and whether we can save templates and reuse them? 100%. If I can share my screen real quick, you can see that all the reports I make are, give me a sec. Share the screen. Share the screen. Yeah, I couldn't. Okay, perfect. You can see my screen now. So if you can see right here, all of the reports that I made are saved here. I can access them. I can edit them anywhere I want to, and I can keep them as templates. That's all.